Hey, everybody. Hopefully, you get to hear this one. I have some type of illness that has kept me from using my brain correctly. I am your host, Muck Sama, and I'm joined by my other two co hosts, uh, who are equally hosts of the show, Riley.
Man, I must have the same disease. My brain's like that all the time.
I, I think it's a little bit different. I think mine's like viral. I think yours might, you know, I don't.
Incurable. They lost the cure,
Yeah, it,
ages ago.
you learn too much about QAnon and you just lose it. You can never get it
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
Uh, and I'm joined by my other co-host, my relative, my family, Smuggy.
Have you tried breathing?
I've been trying. Uh, yeah, I have like some type of bronchitis or something. Feels like pneumonia, but they finally put me on stronger steroids for it, so hopefully I won't have it much longer. But yeah, enough of that. Uh, there's been some interesting updates in the past couple of days, um, especially in our local area, um, around our local state, good old Virginia. Um, I don't know if other people know about this, but there's some guy who's been touted around for his voice. I think Joe Rogan talks about it. I think he was
He's
the one.
very soul chase.
He's very soulful.
That's what they say. I don't think that they know what soulful is.
Well,
It's one of the things that I suspect. They just say shit and they don't know what that means.
well, hey, you know, we're talking about nobody but Oliver Anthony. Oliver Anthony, who made a song which is like, I don't know, the rich men north of Richmond, I guess, attacking
Yeah.
DC. I guess that's the point of it, is the lawmakers or something. Uh but
Well,
but
lawmakers and black people, but
yeah. Well, they're
he
not
he doesn't
attack
like to talk
well those
about
aren't
that second.
well those aren't the rich
I'm
men.
sorry, I keep thinking about them eating them ho hos or whatever.
Yeah,
What the
it's
fuck
literally
was
the
it? That
ho-hos
wasn't
part is a particular brain rot that I didn't think conservatives really stuck to nowadays. Like this idea, it's like poor people, all they eat is bad things. Ignore the part where we've done literally nothing but make sure that poor people can only afford bad things for the last
Shut the
30 years. That
fuck
kind of
up,
shit.
god twin eater.
You
Yeah.
goddamn, you goddamn hostess communist. How dare you tell me what I should and should not be spending my valuable tax dollars on.
Of
I need
course,
to be spending
liberals.
that cash and monies on putting a lift kit on my truck, and modifying it in ways that instantly decapitates and kills people.
Hell yeah,
Of
brother.
course, liberals always like something that's cream filled. Bunch of fucking.
Why are all these gays sucking my cock?
If it ain't my wife, I don't want it.
Well, let's
Uh,
not get too ahead of ourselves.
Not the homosexual, you're the one sucking my dick.
yeah, this guy puts out some type of song that's like, it's like just a, I don't know, it doesn't really strike me as a very important or like message filled song. It's really all
I would
over the
call it
place.
I would call it great value Pete Seeger, but
Yeah.
like great value products are
For
sometimes
some
okay.
reason, I thought you were gonna say great value pepperoni pizza. And I'm like, I don't know, he doesn't sound that bad, no. I was
Actually,
like,
Now let's
I
not
kind
get
of
too
like
ahead
it
of
now.
the band. It's like,
I'm a
yeah,
little hungry.
I don't know, man. That sounds like actually something of substance.
I mean, it's just some guy who's pretending to be like, we said it in the episode that got cut. I'm gonna look up, see if it's a slur. Hold on, hold on. Hypothetical small town dollar. Okay, you can say it. It's just a description of a town. He just comes. He pretends like he's from some podunk town that doesn't really have anything. This guy like pretends to, be really,
You're fucking
made from the mud type of dude.
He even has a fake little story, a cute little like biography that he's given himself. That he's just a working man who's on farm.
That's right.
Uh,
But
because
there ain't nothing getting between me and Bessie tonight.
I don't even think he owns animals outside of dogs. Which
a dog
you don't
farm?
need to look into that. But I'm saying the thing about it that I kind of that gets in my grill
Well,
is
hold on,
that
hold on, hold on. Let me introduce this. We know that you're full of shit, Anthony. Oliver Anthony, if that is your real name, which it is not, because you know who knows that that's not your real name? This guy.
specifically me. I
Yeah.
I know that his name is not in fact Oliver Anthony. It is one Chris Lunsford. Uh, I don't. Here's the thing, right? His name is very stupid. Like it looks like shit. It's one of those like white people names, like white that old joke. The white people love to be named Crumbo or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're just like, oh, white people love to be named like Omungus or some weird, like, name from some freak family in Minnesota or something like that.
Like,
That's
love
kind of
to
what
be
this
named
guy's name is.
Butter Churn. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like white people love to be named, I don't know, Clapula or whatever, but it's a very stupid looking name. He is a really rich dude from like north of Richmond. Uh, you know, hot cough cough, irony cough cough. Make of that as you will. Like he's a really rich guy. He like for the vast majority of his life that I knew the guy, he cleared like 150K a year. He I know that he went on some pretty hard times for during a very contentious relationship that he had with a woman, but I don't know any details about that, and I'm not the type to kind of speculate about that kind of thing. But
This
he
dude fucks.
well, I mean, he has kids, right? Like, so I know that he has children, blah blah. He's got a family, yada yada. None of that is like really spectacular or bad or anything like that. But the thing that gets me is like, he's really rich, like very very rich.
Yeah. Like,
He
like at
some people have just
150,000, he's clearing my check by 5 times.
yeah, and
So,
that's like across 6 years. That's not counting bonuses. That's not counting like a lot of the really big kind of commission shit that he probably made at the job that he worked. It's not counting all the money that he saves on health insurance and 401ks and stock options and all this other shit. Like I know that he was into cryptocurrency for a little bit. Like he was a pretty goddamn rich guy. Some people have speculated that he's comes from money because he has a lot of land out in Farmville.
yeah. Well,
I haven't been able to confirm that
in
personally.
the in a little biopic, in a little like couple of lines about who he is, they try to paint it as if he came from middle of nowhere Farmville with nothing, raised from the dirt, made a farm, and then because he was so talented, he happened to move to Nashville to get discovered, which I don't even know if that's true. I don't even know if he's ever been to Nashville. Like,
Here's the thing. He probably has, but not for the reason that you think. Because do you know who has an office in Nashville that he is connected to? The Daily Wire.
oh,
So, let me paint a timeline that I've been able to find out in the 2 days that you and I have talked about this, Chase.
okay.
April 2023. I should note that prelude to this, for 3 years he's been making music and videos and stuff like that. Around April, snap of the fingers, all that shit disappears overnight, right? You can probably, if you really dig hard, search up his name, sift through the shit on the internet Wayback Machine or something like that. You could probably find his old videos, old music, all that stuff. because he re-released 3 of the tracks that he has that are top on iTunes are like re-released stuff that he had put out ages ago, right? His big backlog of music that he's made over these 3 years or so. Probably longer, but that's just in the years that I had known him. You know, he had talked about making music, and he had made videos in the past. My coworker was friends with him and spoke positively about these videos that he'd made in the past, but all that shit's gone, right?
Yeah.
You can hardly find any of it except for the stuff that the Daily Wire approves of and is filtered through it. So in April of 2023, somebody, not him, explicitly not him, sets up a site under the Oliver Anthony brand, you know, via proxy. You can't tell who made it, right?
Mm.
But someone with enough money and clout to clean up his internet trail and get a nice proxy for the site, meaning you can't look at who paid for the site and who's been paying that site's bills for the last few months.
I now
I
this
feel like
is
it's illegal.
No, it's not.
no, it's
You can do that.
completely
It
legal.
feels
Yeah.
bad.
Well,
Unless you're committing tax fraud, it's illegal. But if it's just a site advertising who you are, it doesn't do anything. It's not
and
like he's making false business claims for using an artistic name. That isn't illegal, right?
to be
Being an
fair,
industry plant is also not illegal
yeah, I was
unless
about to
you
say that.
are extorting somebody.
I was about to say it's not illegal also to scrub your name from the internet. It just costs money. And
Yeah.
usually when like I don't know, when people like Jack Harlow for instance come up and they finally get famous after working for years and years, usually like a label will go through and scrub out whatever internet history or whatever videos that aren't close enough to the brand. So it's like, "Oh, this one kind of paints you in a bad light. So we'll get rid of this one or we'll get rid of this one." Um and usually it's just a couple of videos. They keep things around so that way it's kind of cute, endearing. But to have somebody's entire catalog go completely missing beforehand and then to like, you know, it not be a music label that's giving him this, vast array of like, oh, this is what we'll
Technically, if
paint
you
you
really
as.
wanted to be a pedant, you could say that Dan Bongino, as a guy who's pretty big into music and knows some people in Nashville, isn't nobody as far as music labels are concerned, but it's still very fucking weird that he
It,
came this out of left field as
I mean,
quickly as he did, you
I mean,
know?
it's not like Warner Brothers. You know what I mean? It's not like you were picked up by like an actual like. I mean, obviously there are people everywhere who have labels. I mean, even Top Dog Entertainment, who like is the reason Kendrick Lamar is Kendrick Lamar today. Like, kind of came out of the woodworks, but like, they weren't connected with Warner Brothers in that way or like a huge label like that. But I'm just saying it is weird to be propped up against something like the Daily Wire, like directly, and to have everything you've ever worked on scrubbed off the internet.
And
I,
like, Bongino, Dan Bongino, and all this other stuff. But anyway, so continuing the timeline here, a day before he goes viral, he magically makes a TikTok and a Twitter account, right? He probably already had the Facebook account. He probably had all that other crap, right? He's existed for ages, right? The funny
right.
thing here is there's 2 little things. The first videos on Twitter that reposted his music video that he does not have rights to. That he does not have rights to that music video at that point without accreditation seems to be a pretty big deal to one of the crypto guys who was supposed to be a guy who's boosting him, but didn't get paid, and also he's a Ron DeSantis employer, so he hates Ben Shapiro's guts. It's
Hmm.
also a story of right wing beef, but that's too deep into the weeds. We're getting off track here.
Yeah.
Those guys use the hashtag Bitcoin hashtag on Twitter, X, whatever, to boost these videos to the top, get as many conservative eyeballs on it, and get a fuckload of different accounts to just repost this video again and again and again and again and again so it can't ever be down, right? And at that point, somebody, the Ron DeSantis guy in particular, outs the fact that, this guy is not named Oliver Anthony. His name is Chris Lunsford. I don't know where he came from. I know that his entire image is bullshit. Ben Shapiro made him up, blah, blah, blah. And Dan Bongino seemingly successfully gets in front of that guy and overpowers him. Is like, yeah, he's right. This guy is a nobody, but it's okay. I heard his voice and it was so soulful. I had to pay money to boost him. And, successfully gets him back on the rails. And by the time Monday rolls around and I get vaguely involved in all of this and can confirm, like, around Sunday or Saturday, I see this dude's face. I'm like, I know that motherfucker. He's the salesman guy that I used to know. And I'm like, that has to be the salesman guy that I used to know. And by the time his old coworker at the company that he used to work at, Chesterfield Trading, comes in and is like boosting him up, the same coworker, I should really double stress. I stressed this to you last time, but now it's like extra funny considering what he's done over the last few days. Was like calling him very troubled guy, a really troubled guy. It's a shame that he had to be let go. He's a very troubled guy, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Is like, yeah, he's the fucking coolest. Look at him, he's famous. All this
Oh,
other shit. Yeah, famous now. We
yeah.
finally the conservatism has its Willie Nelson moment.
You.
The
It's so
conservatism
gross.
has its checks notes. Ted Nugent no, wait, no, hang on, scratch that. We don't want that.
Yeah. I
The
now uh,
Continue,
so
sir.
I just wanted some clarification of this too. So like the Dan Bongino, how so Dan Bongino is like a guy who runs a radio station, and he's also ran
Yeah, and
for
he's
like
big on Fox
Republican.
too.
Yeah, he's ran for Republican senator for like 3 times. Like he's the three-peat champ of losing. But I'm just confused at how like is he funding him now? Is that what's happening? Is he like
I
behind him?
think that like he is one of many, like one of a bunch of different conservative boosters who are kind of like not directly running this guy's like media presence, but are like pretty have
There's
a pretty firm hold on the reins as far as his social media presence is
this is like
concerned, and like boosting him at the very least. And it's clearly successful because he's got 3 songs on the top 5 of iTunes, which okay, yeah, good
this
enough.
this is like America's Got Talent, but for like conservative chuds who like listen to
Yeah, like the just some guy.
yeah
I need to stress how big of a just some guy this is. Like
yeah
he's not the worst singer in the world, but again, it's the same like faux Pete Seeger kind of shit that like has just been around for seemingly decades, like they've been trying to make a Pete Seeger moment happen for so fucking long, and like this is the best that you have.
yeah. I
And it's just kind of like, not like pathetic, but it's like, I don't know, this is just,
so what I'm
you
getting
know.
from this is this a psyop? Is this
Yeah,
the
everything's a
I
fucking
wouldn't say like in the
psyop.
traditional sense, but like I would say that it is an industry plant kind of thing.
yeah, I will say Dan Bongino or Bongino was in the Secret Service and also a police officer. So I I'm not saying this is directly linked to him or
That's a
anything like that.
little
It's just
worrying.
yeah, it's just a guy with a radio talk show is also a guy who's at least around or encircling some like new like folk pretend folk music narrative of like I hate rich people, cut their taxes, it's the poor black people that I don't like more than the rich people. Like, it's like that's what the
The
entire
boss
message
makes
of
a
the song.
dollar, I make a dime. That's why we need to deregulate the coal mines,
Yeah.
etc., etc., etc. The classic joke that everyone made at this guy's expense, you know,
Yeah. I mean,
which you deserved, like,
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna pretend to be like some folk hero, coming into that type of genre, but you're saying everybody, or you're saying not everybody, but the person who knew him directly, who also knew you, always would say that he's just a troubled dude. Like,
because he got fired, like because he blew up in like it's a small business or whatever. Like the old founder had like retired or whatever, and his like fail son, was the person who kind of took it over and shit like that, took up the reins. And near as I can tell, like he had just spent 2, 3 weeks just fucking seething about this. Like he hated that guy's guts, and just went fucking nuclear in this guy's face almost immediately.
Right.
And you know just they were always like, kind of just low key talking shit about the guy constantly every time that I would ever listen to them, like talk about this guy or like refer to him in any way. Just like, yeah, he's a really troubled guy. Oh yeah, he had all these problems, behavioral stuff. And then you turn around and it's like, oh yeah, he's the fucking coolest dude ever. He's so good. Look at him. He's so talented. I went to his show. He's gonna be a megastar, and he might.
I
But
mean,
there's a wrinkle. You
I
see,
mean,
Chase. There's a fly in the ointment. Do you want me to reveal the surprise,
well,
Chase?
well, before we get into the surprise, because I have a speculation that I think is
Mm-hmm.
going to come true. Like I have I wouldn't say it's like some, very nuanced perspective, but I have watched pretty much every popular artist come out with a single that gets them to number one or number two and then completely disappear. Like this happens every couple of years, and in the
A
conservative
baby
sphere,
cough cough.
yeah, yeah. Picture this: DaBaby out rapping J. Cole. A year later, DaBaby sells 1,000 tickets in a year. like,
Like the baby is teaming up with the children's program to make a fucking
yeah, he's doing.
play. Yeah.
He's visiting kids in high schools to make $200 a day. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like I see this time and time again, but especially with like conservative artists where they just completely go away.
I think the one thing that I used was like Foggiato Blow is this mega rapper guy who's he's like made top 10 or something on iTunes a couple of times, but it's like off the back of, I want to say, like somebody said something close to like 10 or 20 mixtapes or studio albums or something,
Yeah,
is how much this dude produces in a year. Just constant and unceasing content mill stuff
right, right, right.
is what it takes for you to stay relevant as a conservative artist, basically.
Yeah, you just gotta entrench yourself in reactionary shit and just be incredibly inflammatory to every audience. In my opinion, that's the only way. It's like Lil Pump, you know? It's like the equivalent of like Little Pump. Like
Yeah, yeah,
and look at
or
Lil Pump
like
now, you know?
it doesn't really last, and then that's pretty obvious. But it's like sometimes it's just like this guy has been doing it for years, and it's like the normal folk stuff works kind of well. Like if he only stuck to the folk stuff and he, spent time maybe working with other artists and being like a mountain goat esque kind of guy, maybe he
Yeah,
could get somewhere off of this. But conservatism doesn't do that. Like, I think the
yeah,
only thing that's really notable about somebody like, again, like Foggiato Blow, is that guy's willingness to work with smaller conservative stars to chase after virality.
yeah.
And it's kind of sad in a sense, but it does technically work.
But
He
but
has technically made money off the back of that.
but I mean, I think Maxie, what do you feel? How do you feel about this?
I don't know how to feel.
I think you're under the assumption it's just a psyop, right?
Well, I mean,
It's just like a paid
I feel
for
like
by.
anybody who immediately breaks out of nowhere and is in the top 10 or whatever of any musical genre is pretty much just paid to get there.
Especially when they have had
Yeah,
no social media backing it at all. Like, again, a day.
Like coming
yeah.
out of
He made it
nowhere
a
and
day
immediately
before.
making it. Like it's obvious some scummy shit's happening.
Yeah, it's like when Jay-Z got like triple platinum because he bought all of his albums. And he had Sony buy all of his albums or whatever the deal was with that. Like
It's like it is the
it reminds
musical
me of that.
equivalent of Bill O'Reilly writing like 20 or 30 different really dog shit history books that nobody can tell me what those history books are about. Like, hey, can you tell
Yeah,
me what Bill O'Reilly's history book was about? Oh, you can't because you don't know because there's nothing to know.
because nobody's
Okay,
ever read
sure.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nobody is ever going to read Bill O'Reilly's dog shit history book. I think literally the only time I saw anyone tell me what Bill O'Reilly wrote is somebody accused him of ripping off a Sharp's rifle novel and making it his own, but for like for the American Revolution or something, and they're like, oh yeah, it was the worst fucking thing I've ever read in my entire life. It's just a Sharp's rifle ripoff, and I'm like, damn, that's got to be the most pathetic thing ever. Like, you
I've
know,
never. Again, this you're gonna make me say it, Riley. You're gonna
this
make me say it.
motherfucker
This
reads books.
motherfucker is reading books. I have no idea what a Sharp's. Well, I know who Sharp is because you recommended something or you talked about it, not recommended him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
do you want to know the fly in the ointment, the
Yeah,
wrinkle in this
yeah,
story?
yeah. If this is low energy to people, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're just interested on what we know about this. But if this is low energy to people, sorry again. I'm coming off of being sick for like a week, so I am actually excited to talk about this topic. But only so much I can muster for Oliver Anthony. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do any
he's
Like,
not
why
jumping
a
did
he's
they
not
jacks.
an
name
impressive
themselves
tower
Oliver?
hammer.
Like, what? The
Was
only thing I can think of, like, why would they name themselves Oliver? The only thing I can think of is like they're
I do
trying to
have an answer for
harken to
that.
like Oliver Twist.
He is in particular harkening back to his grandfather. It is his grandfather's name.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry,
Also,
Granddaddy. You're
well, to be fair, Oliver Anthony is the type of name you'd find on like "Here Lies the Coal Miners" type of plaque. Like,
That's why we gotta deregulate the mines.
yeah, look, we got it.
Exactly.
Oliver Anthony. It's Oliver Anthony, Tim Tin Can. You know,
is that a
Tim
just
the
real
Tin
name?
Can
Did you just make
Magoo.
that up?
yeah. I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I was worried that
it
somebody
does
was
sound
saying
like something that would be real though,
Tim
right?
Tin.
Like Tim the Tin Can. That's right. My name's Tim the Tin Can Johansson, and I'm in favor for lowering the age of consent, like Matt Walsh told me to. Like, also, Dan, imagine signing your name next to Matt Walsh. That actually has got to
Gross.
be one of the most pathetic shit
Did he do
imaginable.
that? What's the secret? Tell me the secret. Tell me the
Like,
secret.
well, so like the Daily Wire, Matt Walsh works for the Daily Wire.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
Well, okay.
the
That makes
secret,
sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Okay.
secret, the wrinkle, the fly in the ointment here is, he is a 9/11 anti-Semitic conspiracy truther crank.
Huh. All right.
What?
I'll
Yeah,
buy it. What do you mean?
he
What?
on his official music channel for about, I don't know if it's still there or not, right? Under the Oliver Anthony music channel where he's posted a lot of his songs and shit. There
Oh
was a
no.
playlist called Videos to Get Your Noggin Bigger, and
Oh
a
What the
bunch of the videos were about how Jews did 9/11.
oh no. I
I I can't believe it.
uh,
Next, is he gonna be like, "Oh, hey,
he's
I was gonna
gonna
bring back up Yaku."
I mean he's all he's gonna do next is be like 13% of the population commits 50% of the crime or like some other like Matt Walsh talking point that like leads into just Nazism. Like
Would
I
it
can't
surprise
believe
you,
it's
Chase,
that.
that
Oh no.
for a for at least a day, long enough for people to scrape the tweets and to scrape the information off of his likes page, he was going around liking tweets by Nazis on his official Twitter account.
Oh my God. How can you make more than $150,000 a year and also be a Nazi? You're
I
so dumb, dude.
He's from Central fucking Virginia, and he's
I'm
a rich crank.
I mean,
Like, I'm not surprised by the fact that he did that, but it's also just like
But isn't it just so? I mean, I'm not surprised, but like this is a topic that comes up a lot. Isn't it so American to hate Nazis though? Isn't that like the most American thing you can do is be like, I hate Nazis? Like that's like the most patriotic thing you can do. Like, but to like pivot from like I'm from Farmville. I grew up in Farmville, right outside of Longwood. I own a farm out there, and I hate the Jews. Brother, you don't even know any Jews. You've never met them. You've never been to a
you have
synagogue.
never met a Jewish person in your fucking days, and here you are, like
Ugh.
being insane about things. Like,
You couldn't even spell synagogue.
yeah,
You can't even tell me
you
who
couldn't
runs the
even
bank.
spell synagogue. Fuck.
I mean, it's
Exactly,
true. He grew up
exactly.
like what he. I mean, I say he grew up right out of Longwood. I mean, he did. That's all
You know,
Farmville is.
I'm kind of like holding out for like a conservative Jew guy that like actually can spit out names of people who run banks and like who is actually like the leader of Israel and shit like that. And
Yeah,
just like
The
make the weirdest conspiracy theories possible rather than just like blanketly hating Jews.
yeah.
I
Like
think somebody made the joke that was like, you know who actually runs the world, and then they post all they do is just they post the list of people who run banks, and it's just a bunch of Dutch guys.
it's just
Like,
a
it's
yeah,
mostly just Dutch guys.
just Swiss and Dutch and like
Yeah, yeah, just like it's
Saudi
the same
Arabian.
like kind of guys. It's not the people that like conservatives or Nazis thinks. It's a lot of it's a surprisingly large amount of Irish guys too,
Oh
like
yeah,
Irish
I'm
and Dutch
sure.
guys and stuff like that. Like it,
Like
it's difficult to just it it again to stress just most of these dudes don't actually know how the world works.
yeah.
Most QAnon people are like the way that they are because they just don't understand how the world actually functions. Case in point, there's a large contingent of conservatives who believe, unironically, that like satellite laser beams are responsible for the fires in Hawaii.
They're
Oh my god. See, this is like when
sending out the Jewish space laser.
see,
The Dr. John Bunny strikes again.
I'll say it. I'll say it right now. I'll say it and I mean it. Uh I think
You
that
don't mean
Nazism needs a new meta cuz all this shit is boring to me. I think it's
It's the
boring.
same thing
It's
over and over
dumb.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I hate all this shit. Don't get me wrong. I think that it's all dumb and horse shit and like the worst thing
okay, but
imaginable. But it's just
the
so
one?
boring now. If you've been on the internet for 3 years, you already know about the Jewish space laser. You know? You know about the propaganda they spread about Jewish space lasers and
What
shit.
about flat Earth, hollow Earth? Giants live under the Earth.
Oh, I'm
Hitler
sure
lived
that
there.
if you were to like somehow corner him into like a Guantanamo Bay esque incident, that he would have some very particular opinions on like flat Earth and and the planets and stuff like that. He kind of does seem like that sort of crank. Like
Yeah.
from what everyone is how everyone is described, like what is on his YouTube page and stuff like that. It's the funniest part is it's like 5 or 6 videos on how like George Soros is a part of the
Oh no.
mafia or something like that, and all this other weird horse crap. And then there's just like one video that is a remix of some disco song, but it's like focusing on like a potato chip rotating on a plate, and it's like that's the only funny video. That's the only interesting thing that this guy has is like, hey man, you
I,
checked out the funny potato chip video? It's real great.
it made my brain bigger.
That made my
Made
noggin bigger.
made me smarter. Yeah. This guy sounds like a more like a piece of shit than before. Cause I was getting into like the whole like I was like, oh, okay, so he's just like a racist dude from Virginia. Cool. Doesn't really understand how welfare works, how taxes work, where your money goes to, when you pay it, what the real problem of the issue is. Cough, cough, your boss making like 30 times the amount you do and not paying any of his taxes instead of, the other poor people around you. But like the fact that he's like just insane, just like, I don't know. It breaks it, dude. It breaks it. I thought he was just dumb. Sometimes it's okay to be a dumb chud, and then people go, "Hey, man, that's stupid," and then he like corrects himself. But considering he's affiliated with the Daily Wire, there's no saving him to begin with. That was the plan from the beginning, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that
I just don't get why, like, the Daily Wire would choose him of all people. I guess, like you said
because like
earlier,
he's
he
a
had
I guess
no
He's.
fucking
it's just
internet
marketing things, I
history.
think.
I think it's just
Yeah,
because he's willing. That's it. Like he's
it's
just a
true. I mean,
willing
most
participant.
probably knows at least one of the crypto guys. He has money, like a
Yeah.
lot of money. He
Oh yeah.
probably fronted a lot of the cost for, getting boosted and shit like that.
Yeah.
He's
This is.
got the look of like he can grow a long enough beard that he can trick dullards into thinking he's a good old boy mountain man or something like that.
Yeah. Farmville is not Mountain Man. I'm sorry. Farmville is now.
It's really really rich, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I,
but that's the thing that like conservatives just I mean they don't not that they don't get it, it's that they really 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 don't care about is that like that this guy's a fucking phony, none of them give a shit that he is a complete fake.
Yeah, they don't care that he grew up in a McMansion. They don't care about any of that. They're just like
They don't
whatever.
care that he lives in like in a very expensive area in Goochland. They don't care that he is most likely already a millionaire. Like they don't care that like my man probably hasn't paid anywhere close to the taxes that he should have to pay on anything that he's ever done, probably in like decades. They don't care about
Yeah,
any of that shit. They care about like the image and I guess the lore, for lack of a better word, of this guy, the concept of a good old boy, the concept of like, yeah, he came up from he's a good old farmer just telling it like it is about how all those blacks are eating too many Twinkies or whatever, it's just it's the same story over and over again. Kind of
yeah.
like you said.
It's just so dumb. Like again, I could see him being some like some like the mental equivalent of like a Furby repeating like some dullard's comment about like black people on welfare. Like I can see that, but him being like a complete extremist who's like just an idiot on top of that. Like I don't know. It just ruins it. The whole thing's ruined. It went from being like look at this dumb guy pretending he's like not rich and shitting on poor people for being poor, and
He's the
now
mountain man.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I'm stuck on a loop on it. It's just so hard to like get over the fact of like how I don't it's just you know what I mean? It's hard. Why is it every time? You know what I mean? Every time. Every time. You can't have any nuance anymore. You can't have a dumb country guy come out and get popular anymore and say some dumb things and then he's like, "Wait, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry." You always got to double down.
Yeah, because all these liberals are just too soft-skinned.
Yeah,
They're
that's
they're
right.
too soft skinned to understand the reality that the only people who should make music are this guy forever.
Yeah.
Like this like several trillion clones of this one dude forever is all that conservatism wants for the rest of existence. And that alone is like kind of like it conservatives constant the thing that gets me that really gets my gall about all of this is conservatives constantly go on and on about like liberalism can't create anything that the the common man desires or dumb shit like that. But then, someone like Greg Gutfield will turn around and be like, yeah, one of the best bands I've heard in years, 100 Gex.
Music for people with autism.
Yeah, yeah. Music for people like me, Greg Gutfield, 100 Gex.
Greg Gutfeld discovered 100 gex after his usual browsing of Sissy Hypno.
Is he, Greg Gutfield was busy watching like those stimming videos that people make, like those psychotic stimming people videos that people make on TikTok, and is like, oh, I need something new. I need a new kick, or I'm
he's
going to disassociate.
he's just
Ah, what is this? A new artist that I've never heard of? Why? 100 gex.
I
How
just
delightful.
imagine his like TikTok algorithm, and it's just like people like it's just like the Mujahideen just like chanting over top of like Subway Surfer like playing in the background.
Yeah,
And
he's
then,
watching an ISIS
like
beheading video while a Family Guy
yeah.
episode plays.
And then like he scrolls down one more time and it's just like Sissy Hypno with like 100 gex playing and he's just like, now who's this?
It's like, ah, yes, finally, the patrician's choice.
Yes, he's like, ah, yes, exquisite, finally. Something that can really
True
itch my palate.
culture for an avant-garde gentleman like me.
Like, dude,
Ah, yes,
that's
100
so
gex and
funny.
the Smiths, the two grades.
The Smiths. Oh man. I mean, hey, look, I love the
I
Smiths.
don't
Yeah.
hate the Smiths. I'm just saying, like, Greg Gutfield really, really likes the Smiths.
Take me out tonight. You know that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
And if a double-decker bus. Man, he's a sad boy.
I know. Greg Gutfield is such a strange dude,
Yeah.
but like
Let me look
Dan
up.
Bongino is such a strange guy. All of them are strange guys. They're all so fucking weird.
They're all
Like,
feds, man. They're all feds.
well, they work for Fox News. Of course they're feds.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you know.
I mean, did you know he's 5'5"?
Oh, I could beat his fucking ass.
Oh, you could
Yeah, I
oh
don't know.
yeah.
Oh,
Are you
you
kidding
I
know
me?
think
my
fucking
fucking
I
Yeah.
think Maxie most of the Fox News hosts in a steel cage match.
Yeah.
Fucking Maxie's gonna be out here like throwing Greg Gutfield's ass off the top like Mankind versus the Undertaker.
I'm about
Oh
to win,
yeah.
and they're like doing the final countdown, and then all of a sudden he reaches into his briefs and pulls out a submachine gun.
It's like he like takes out freedom powder, but it's like not actual like talcum powder like it normally is. It's like nerve gas poison that he got from the Saudis.
I you know gosh. I just love that every like Fox News affiliate is like 5'2", you know?
They're
And like
tiny.
touts
I can
touts
fit them in
about
my pocket.
American. Yeah,
I mean, I guess if you're 5'2", you're
I
either
mean,
gonna
no wonder
turn
they
out to
all
be a
have to tan
conservative.
their balls and take HGH if they're that small. You gotta compensate somehow.
or yeah, they're
Like
either
they're constantly talking about how like America needs a new Volk or whatever the fuck, and like they're like mini me's. They're
yeah.
the mini M&Ms. They're fun sized.
They're all like 5'2", and then like if they're not 5'2", they look like they're permanently a hall monitor. You know what I mean?
They look like a tiny dying Victorian child.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. I uh
Now, where are you going? If you tell me you're going to the bathroom for the third time today, I might have to report you to Mrs. Finster.
I'll have you know that you went pee pee at least 2 times today. You are only allowed to go pee pee 3 times or like 1 time per class. I'm not going to allow you to skip biology again. We have to learn about plankton.
like that I could see that being actually if Ben Shapiro presented everything as if he was just his regular hall monitor self, it would be way better. It would be way funnier to listen to if he was like, "Well, see, I don't like that we're giving benefits to trans people because my mommy said."
It's like this nice man who gave me from Langley, who gave me a lollipop, said that the Mujahideen is recruiting trans people.
Yeah, yeah.
I've watched some very
Oh,
interesting pornography on
that,
XTube about it.
that's a crazy thing that was actually in the news that one time. Do you remember that when they were talking about that?
Like
That
what?
like
Like the
Al Qaeda was targeting the LGBTQ plus. Do you remember that? That was a story from a while ago.
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember that. I'm not gonna lie, but I am somehow not surprised at all. That tracks.
Yeah, I
But
don't.
also just Ben Shapiro, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's whatever. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't know, man. So what's his real name again?
That is Chris Lungford. He used to work for Chesterfield Trading.
Wow, Chris Lungd
Chrissy Lungs.
Lungbid
I mean, you listen. It's not
Lungdid
an
filled.
offensive pronunciation if his name's dumb as shit.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna be real with you. I don't give a fuck how his name's pronounced.
yeah. I don't
Honestly,
know. As
saying
soon as you start saying like,
everyone said it a different way each time. Like that was the funniest part. Like no one could tell me how to pronounce the guy's name. Like they all had a different way of saying it. Every single one of them.
mm. When you met him, did you talk to him personally, or were you just hanging out with
Yeah,
him? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I just like talk to him personally sometimes.
Did
Like
he seem normal
I would
then?
say that like as a dude to talk to, like not knowing that he is like a terrible crank and a pro-conservative plant slash Brewster, he was a kind of a nice guy. You know, there's things to like about the dude, but like also, you know,
Don't scratch that surface.
Yeah.
yeah, just don't look too deep under that surface because it's some real shit.
To be fair,
Like
everybody's.
specifically very anti-Semitic shit.
Yeah, that's insane. I. To be fair, everybody's normal until they're not. That's kind of how it is, ain't it? All
Yeah,
right,
I
all right.
mean,
R.I.P. to Lizzo.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you're not wrong.
Wait, what happened?
The man ain't wrong.
Oh, hey, you're gonna love this, Maxie. So, like, there's like 14 accusations that have been that have came out against Lizzo for like sexual harassment, like unsafe work practice, just like crazy shit. Like,
Oh, did you know they did that for Linus tips too?
yeah, that one I kind of
Yes, yes, they
expected.
did.
Can I say
Well,
that?
yeah, I get it, but
Like,
I was just bringing that up.
you're telling me a tech bro is like, you telling me a tech bro
Sexually
doesn't
assaulting women.
doesn't care that you work or go to the bath. Well, he didn't say it's not sexual assault; it's sexual harassment.
No,
Al-
whatever.
Also, too, the
One step
idea
away.
the idea of sexual harassment too is like so misunderstood by the general public. Like sexual harassment is anything that includes your gender identity or who you are as a person based upon your sex or your gender. So
Oh,
like
so Buster's like completely a sexual harasser.
yes,
100%.
yes,
Okay.
100%. Anybody who brings up like, oh, be a man, or oh, be more of a woman, be more this. That's technically
Yeah,
sexual harassment.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that
It's
falls in that category, which to a lot of people they don't
the
really.
NCAA special.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they don't understand that this is like, I don't know. They don't understand that it's all coupled into it. So like a lot of times when sexual harassment cases come up, they're like, he didn't even do anything wrong. He just said like quit acting like a bitch. And it's like, what? That's you
It's
can't
like,
do
oh,
that
why
to
don't
your
you like
employee.
suck my dick? And it's like, oh, that's
But,
sexual harassment. You can't do that.
yeah, implying
What are you
anything
saying that I
sexual.
can't like tell people that their titties look great today? You saying that's illegal now?
I
I
said,
thought this was
Damn, bitch,
America.
your
What
ass
about
looking
freedom of
fat
speech? God
today.
damn it!
you mean I can't drink her
Oh.
breast milk? Sorry, Blizzard moment.
Are you telling me I can't take her breast milk out of the company fridge?
And
Are you
share it
saying
around the
that's wrong?
office? You telling me I can't share it around the office like it's some type of
You telling me
booze?
I can't do that? Starting a TikTok trend called the Sharon's breast milk challenge was illegal.
You mean
I
to
got
tell
some
me that
TikTok videos to delete real quick. Hang on a minute.
you mean to tell me that getting uncomfortably close in the elevator just so I can sniff her hair might be sexual?
Might be a bit sus.
But yeah, like
Hang on, I got a lot of videos to delete right quick.
well, I'm glad I only posted them to my Finsta.
Damn it.
It does. If it's
that I
not my
even
real
know what
name, it
that is.
can't. Offensive?
Listen, if as long as now listen, are you telling me that I shouldn't have put all them there anti-Semitic conspiracy theories under my music channel?
Well, I'll say it.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently, so Lizzo pressured dancers into unwanted sexual situations, made statements that they were perceived as thinly veiled comments about the dancers' weight gain, put people through grueling rehearsals that led to one dancer soiling herself. At least 6 more former employees have filed similar complaints. So there's already complaints being filed. I'm not sure how many beforehand. Um,
Just
yeah, there's
don't
one thing about a
yourself,
banana.
forehead.
There's one thing about a banana that
Oh,
came up, and that's just
stimulated
A
oral sex.
banana?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You can imagine. I mean, let your mind wander.
Yeah, it's
You know.
it's I said what it was, but the descriptions of what it was are like way fucking worse.
Yeah, and the whole thing
Like
too is like
crazy
Lizzo.
worse somehow.
Yeah, like Lizzo was supposed
Isn't
to.
how does she want to talk about other people's weight gain?
Well, she's a whole champion for that type of stuff. You know, like at least she tried to take the
Well, it
role as like a
was,
champion. Yeah, but like I mean, most people
pretended
who
to be a champion.
yeah, I'm just gonna go out on a limb. Most people who go out there and think that they are think that they need to champion something for everybody else, majority of the time are probably not great people. Valid cause, valid attempt, but you know, I don't know. There's a difference between championing something and like bringing light to it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know how to put it. Eh, You know, like the equivalent of like somebody being
Whatever.
like, "Hey,
Take
maybe
it.
you shouldn't shame people for their weight," is a lot different than somebody being like, "I am the celebrity of the hour," who is like, "I am the thick
I
celebrity."
am the greatest celebrity of all time.
Yeah, there's a huge difference
Should
between
you
that.
not bow to me and my elegance, etc., etc.?
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, people are weird. They're always going to be weird. Don't trust celebrities. That's it. Except me. I'm
Are
the
you telling
best.
me that I should not have trusted Tory Lanez with my wallet?
Are you telling me that maybe Tory Lanez had like one hit too? It's so crazy. Like I'll never understand it. Dude released like two okay songs and one hit, and then people are like, "No, but he shouldn't go to jail." Dude, we're gonna think of all the good music we missed out on. What?
Which hits?
What?
Like which good music?
Did you know how Tory Lanez
Point
got?
me to it, please.
Did you know how Tory Lanez broke through?
How?
He followed Drake after a concert and gave Drake $10,000 to listen to his mixtape.
That's just pay for play, isn't it? At that point,
Yeah, yeah,
you're pay for playing yourself.
yeah. I mean, Tory Lanez has that one song, like his breakout song. You ain't gotta say. I don't know. Tory Lanez. I think it's just called "Say It." Yeah, it's
Good
just called.
music? Question mark?
Yeah, Tory Lanez good music. Yeah, it's from 2015 though. That's 8 years ago. It's "Say It" by Tory Lanez. I'm not
Oh,
promoting this to go listen to it as if, I think it's good still. I mean, I
you
think
can
it
you
in a vacuum.
listen to like the slowed down royalty free version
Yeah,
on YouTube
the
while watching
440.
his arraignment and watch him cry on air and then kind of laugh.
Yeah, go look up "Say It" Tory Lanez chopped and screwed 440 hertz edition and then pull up his arraignment.
It's
That's
like
a
you're being deported. You are going to jail forever, Mr. Lanes. Go to hell. He could have gotten away with that crime if he wasn't a misogynist too, which is the
hey,
only I would call it ironic in kind of in an abstract way.
hey, isn't that like the
Like
theme
you
of
could have just shut the fuck up and gotten away with it, but you're like, nah, I'm gonna go viral by admitting to a crime.
that's like the theme of every court case recently is like, yeah, they
It's
nothing would have ever
just the
happened to
MF
him.
Doom song "Rap Snitches."
Yeah.
Like it's somewhere, someplace, MF Doom is looking down on top from the heavens, kind of nodding sagely, like, yes.
Yeah.
They should have heeded my warning, but they they did not.
Telling on yourself, man. Quit telling on yourself. I mean, that's like, that's Trump, his whole thing going on right now. Like, if he just shut up, nobody would have done anything, and he would have gotten
Listen, I've
away
got to
with it.
keep I've got to keep an elaborate record of every text that I make. They'll never young thug me. They'll never young thug Big Donnie. They'll never do it, folks.
Imagine getting Reco'd after Young Thug. Couldn't be me.
I
Couldn't be me.
I imagine being the guy who invented Ricoing and
Yep.
going out like Young Thug.
Yeah, imagine Rudy
It's
Giuliani.
so fucking good.
Rudy Giuliani just melting in his cell. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be great.
It's just like a puddle of wax, like a human wax doll, just melting down.
The America's mayor, right? Or what do they call him?
A mayor. Yeah, America's
Yeah,
Mayor is what they
yeah,
called him. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember there's an episode of Blowback where they're talking about Rudy Giuliani's fuck ups during 9/11, and they kept playing the clip of him shrieking America in the 2000 and like the 2000 Republican
That's a
primary
good
or something
fucking
like that.
show.
Like,
America.
America! And every time they mentioned something that he fucked it up, they slowed it down so it just got more and more warbled every time.
It's like a
Oh,
two dank.
perfect. That, but like every time they hit him with like a charge or something, you just play him shrieking America over and over again. That's my shit right there. It's honestly, it's either going to be the most underwhelming kind of series of dumb things to happen in American politics over the next like couple of years, or the absolute goddamn funniest of all time.
Yeah.
And there's no in between.
I mean, I think it's gonna be really funny. They got to do the perp walk. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they are going
The
to
what?
take Donald Trump's mugshot in
Yeah.
Fulton County Prison.
The perp walk is when they have to walk through in handcuffs, get their fingerprints taken, get mug shots, get their weight and their height. That's gonna be funny. That's gonna
Oh
be a
God,
meme.
we get to know how much Big Donnie weighs.
Yeah.
Big Donnie weighs
I do not
327.
weigh that much, folks. They took a big bowling bag out from underneath the scale and put it on top of the scale while I was there. This is all muscle, folks. I just
So-
really like oversized clothes.
Somebody did a tweet and was like, I can't wait for it till they go like till Donald Trump is like walking through and doing his press release after he gets out of being booked, and then he's like, folks, they had a man, he was getting sentenced to death, and he said, Mr. President, how they're treating you is worse than me. I didn't agree with him, but he saw it. Other people saw it. Man on death row.
Yeah, that's
I assume he was on death row. I wasn't sure, but he said to me, "They're treating you worse." I believed him. Like
that's it, Big Donnie. You're so right. The
You
difference
know.
between me and you is that they'll get to you first. Or he just keeps garbling that quote every time.
Yeah.
he says it.
He's like, I never
I'm
can.
getting out of here lucky. I'm dying instantly. What they're gonna do to you, Big Donnie? Oh no.
literally. I'm not joking.
I woke up inside of jail, folks. I saw my sleep paralysis demon. He said, Big Donnie, you shouldn't have kept all those
Wow.
black people from renting that property in Harlem. He looked just like Stan Chera. He's had some very funny chains on. Very, very ugly. Last season chains.
Look, I personally cannot believe that like we're going to finally know his weight and his height, because he lies about his height every time, which is like understandable, right? Like that's a
I'm
funny thing
absolutely
to do.
natty, folks. I'm 7'2".
Yeah.
The cameras, they just making me look short. It's the deep state plot.
I'm guessing. How tall is he? Like 6'1", probably. In actuality, he's probably like 6'1". I'm guessing he's probably 285.
He could
Thinking-
be heavier than that, I think. Like he
I
could
guess
be a
it-
much denser person
I
than
think
you
it's like
think, you know.
3'7".
You think he's 3?
3'7", yeah. He has like those like steam powered prosthetic stilts, like he's a fucking like World of Warcraft gnome.
I don't. Have you seen
Yeah,
that
I'm
dude from
going
the
3.
side? He is very dense.
Yeah, he looks like Jim Henson. He's
Jim
crawling
Henson made
inside
a
of him.
puppet of a human being. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There he is
Oh
a
man.
like a dark crystal puppet come
Yeah.
to life.
Yeah, he looks like a goddamn he looks like
David Bowie is about to come off screen to do a musical number with Big Donnie. That's what he looks like. It's just
he looks like the wicked
like
witch of the east from Howl's Moving Castle. Like when she starts melting. He's
like
definitely
if the
350.
fucking Wicked Witch of the East started talking about like Oscar parties no longer being good and like Cosmo not having his quality articles anymore.
You know,
They wanted me to write for Cosmo in 38 in 1979, folks. I told them, absolutely not. You're not paying me enough.
all right, I agree with Maxie. I'm on 320. I'm on 335.
Oh, you're going higher than me.
Yeah, I'm on
I
335.
I I'm kind of going somewhere in between that, right? Like I don't think he's like morbidly obese per se, but
Mm,
he's close. Like he's
mm.
really close.
If I know one thing about
No,
my
he's
if I know one thing about my president, he loves cheeseburgers, folks.
the fucking he invites on the entire like NFL team to his house.
The
Yeah.
I'm not
NHL,
gonna
no,
lie,
it's the
It's the hot.
NCAA
Yeah,
the
team.
yeah.
NCAA whatever, and then all he gave them were cheeseburgers from McDonald's.
Folks, look at this spread. This absolute
Doesn't it look
glorious spread.
delicious? Doesn't it look
I mean,
delicious,
I
folks?
I've
I would have been
invited a
happy.
celebrity over to tell them how delicious the burgers are, and he gets the the running on empty food review kid to be there.
Dude, I loved that. That was a moment in time.
Why
That
would you
was a
say that about review,
move.
bro?
That was a
Review Bra
movie.
would never go to the White House with Trump, I don't think, but I thought it would be a funny bit. I'm sorry. I did not mean to besmirch the good name of
Uh,
Review Bro.
I don't want to even imagine a world where I know review bros politics.
Yeah.
I'm
Too
sorry.
too
Honestly,
classy.
same.
Too
If
classy of a
it would
person.
crush me. It would hurt me so bad. It's like that one image where like when you gotta put that put somebody down and he's like holding the gun and shaking and crying.
Yeah.
What was it? It's like when the Civil War comes and I've got to kill Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna end this on just a joke I see that's really dumb. Can I do that?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I
Yes.
hope no one hears me. In our terrible secret, I said to my friend. I did, said Big Ears Man. 2 sentence horror story.
The classic. Classic.
Okay,
The
sorry.
fable of Big Ears
I
Man.
thought that was dumb. I thought it was real good. What do you think?
That was a solid Gambit.
Whatever.
Should I end it on something else? Well, you didn't even laugh. You didn't even say anything, Maxie.
Oh, sorry.
Hee hee.
Hee hee.
Hee
Goo
hee.
goo.
Sugoi Desne. Alright, well, we'll see you on the next one. We're going to be playing a lot of Boulder's Gate coming up here soon.
Baldy
So,
Gate. Baldy Gate. Man, I
yeah.
thought we were gonna play today, and now we're just redoing this podcast. I'm really tired. I didn't even think we were gonna record any.
You know,
You
such
know,
is the way.
that's just how it goes sometimes. It's
I didn't
just
even
how it
say much.
do
You two
in this
filled
shitty
there.
world.
The Yeah, I wanted to play. I told Riley that we had a little special like duo that we were gonna do with him.
Yeah, no spoilies.
I know, but
I wasn't
I
gonna
was also
spoil.
quite
I just said we had an idea.
I was also going to try to do, if we weren't going to do this, I was going to do resin casting, but then the UV flashlight that they sent me was not a UV flashlight. It was
Please do not turn on the UV flashlight and point it at me.
no, I will not. It's a fake UV flashlight. It is a purple LED, not a UV flashlight, and it was a piece of shit, cheap piece of shit. So I
What was it
bought an
for?
actual UV flashlight instead.
What'd you get it for?
Resin casting.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like it's a UV resin basically. It's not bad. I like it. I'm gonna
Alright.
make a really creepy little brain thing for
Hell
a
yeah.
project that maybe
Are you-
I force you two to do in like, I don't know, a year or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Are you guys
Look
ready to
forward
do
to
some
a weird
Halloween
thing in
shit?
a year. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Into
buddy.
I am
I want to ghost hunt. We got to figure out a place to go to.
I am so tired of summer.
Gotta
I hate it.
I got a cool one shot to run you two idiots through. An
Hell
oldie but
yeah.
a goodie.
We got
Gonna be
a
great.
lot. We got a lot of content coming out here soon, and we got to record a lot. We still need a personal assistant because everyone I've tried to hire on, for good money too, does not want to do it. So I'm not
Yeah, I wouldn't
sure.
either.
Yeah, I guess it's to Fiverr with us, or maybe
Ah.
Seth. Maybe this is Seth's new job. No.
Yeah, we're gonna kidnap Seth. We are going to
Yeah.
like once fall is over and he graduates, we are going to drive down to Texas and kidnap Seth.
Don't get him too excited.
Parody in Minecraft.
Bussa.
Buster.
Bussa.
Sniffle?
Bussa. All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bussa.
Nobody's gonna know what that means.
Bussa.
That's
Bussa.
okay.
What?
Waka waka waka.
Okay.
Flocka.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye.
Look.
Flocka.